So when a team like the Yankees, who are looked at as World Series favorites, and now have a flurry of injuries that's really putting into question, will they still be able to win the AL East? Well, let's talk about that.
Hold up, wait until the whole team show up, yeah. I'm in Neverland, can't grow up, yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? So today, I just want to talk about the insane amount of injuries that seems like is being put on the Yankees even before the season has started. And today in this video, I just want to talk about what this could mean for the Yankees not only throughout the season, and could this affect their chances in winning the very critical AL East. And so, before I forget, I just wanted to remind you guys to go down and subscribe. I post new videos every single week talking about the biggest sports stories, and then I also do the same exact thing on my Instagram and also my Twitter, and then you can find both of those links in the description box below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would support either of those platforms. So I just wanted to say a quick disclosure. So if you look through my channel and really all behind me, I'm a big Boston fan. But in each of these videos, I really try and look at each situation as a broader, more MLB fan. I try not to have that Red Sox sort of bias really go into my different opinions. And so if you're a Yankees fan watching this video right now, I want you to know that I am giving my honest and MLB fan opinion. And you're going to not hear really any sort of trash talk towards the Yankees or any sort of Red Sox bias, and I'm going to do my best to really give my full, honest, analytical opinion. So injuries always seem to be an issue for really any team in any sport. And you really see it very prominent, especially in the NFL. Like if a quarterback goes down in the middle of the season or even at the start of the season and you don't have a viable backup, well, you can toss that season in the trash. But in the MLB, it's a whole different story because you have 25 different guys that are going to be able to be slotted into those different positions. And most of the time, these different players are not out for the rest of the season. Most of the time, they're out for, a few weeks, a few months, and they're able to come back and help reflourish their abilities to really help out their teams in the critical different situations. But especially with what is happening right now with the New York Yankees, it's very unique. So you usually see these injuries in the middle to the end of the season because the stress and the pressure that these players are putting on their bodies throughout 162 games, it really starts to get to these different players, and especially when they have lingering injuries, you really start to see them re-injure these different things. And so that's sort of what we're seeing with the New York Yankees at the moment, with the ton of injuries that has been happening even before the season started. So the Yankees last season were able to go 103-59, and especially when they were able to come away with the AL East very easily, it looked like during the 2020 season, they were looked at as World Series favorites, especially when they were able to go into the 2020 offseason and snag the best free agent on the market in Garrett Cole and really sort of reflourish that very thin starting rotation that it seems like the Yankees have had over these last 3 seasons, because we've seen it in their performance in the playoffs. They haven't been able to make it to that extra hump to be able to get to that World Series because of their very thin and inconsistent rotation. Now we're seeing it as there's a ton of critical guys on this Yankees depth chart that are being put on the sidelines for potentially half of the season or for the entire season. And this is really putting into question, like I said at the start of the video, will the Yankees still be able to come away with the very competitive and critical AL East? So especially going into this 2020 season, the Yankees rotation was looked at as one of the best in the MLB. When you have guys like Garrett Cole, James Paxton, Luis Severino, J.A. Happ, and also Masahiro Tanaka, well, it's going to be really difficult for hitters to be able to find a way to get on base. But now we're looking at the Yankees rotation as a whole different story. When James Paxton was said to have not be able to return till the end of May because he underwent surgery during this last offseason, and then when it also came out just a few weeks ago that Luis Severino would undergo Tommy John surgery to end his entire season. And now as MLB fans, we're looking at this Yankees rotation as something where it'll be mediocre, but it's not going to really be able to drive them and push them into the playoffs. In my opinion, I could really see their offense being the advantage that it has really been throughout these last few seasons to really help them be able to win those games. But especially when you have a rotation like Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka, J.A. Happ, and Jordan Montgomery, and then that fifth spot is really into question onto whether you're going to go into the minor leagues or really go to one of the very cheap guys that you got during this offseason, like Chad Bettis. But it'll be interesting to see what the Yankees really do with this rotation and how these different guys will be able to really succumb all this pressure and be able to find a way to still be efficient and really be able to exceed or go to those similar expectations that were put on them at the start of this season. So it'll be really interesting, like I said, to see what the Yankees will do with that fifth spot and how they'll really be able to help bolster their rotation with all the different limitations that it seems like they're going to have with Paxton and also Luis Severino being sidelined for most of the season. And so it'll be interesting to see if these rumors like Steven Matz being traded over to the Yankees are actually going to be true and really how they're going to evaluate this situation. So another part of the Yankees depth chart that is really up into question because of all these different injuries that are really plaguing this team at the moment is the outfield. Now, when you look at their outfield at the moment, they only have really 3 healthy guys in Mike Tauchman, Clint Frazier, and Brett Gardner. Now, Aaron Judge just got sidelined for what is said to have been the first month to the second month of the season. And then when we look at a guy like Giancarlo Stanton, who strained his right calf and is going to miss opening day and could even miss the first month. And then when you look at the third starting outfielder in Aaron Hicks, who just underwent Tommy John surgery over the summer on his right elbow and then could be coming back in the middle of the summer, it's really up into question what is going to happen with this Yankees outfield and how they're going to be able to still find a way to still not only have consistent production out there, but still find a way to win those games with their offense with a few guys that is really up into question on how they'll really be able to perform in these critical and high pressure situations. So it has been talked about that they could slot Miguel Andujar into that outfield position, but it'll be really interesting to see how the Yankees really try and figure out what they're going to do with these flurry of injuries that it seems to be really hurting their chances to really be able to live up to those very high expectations that were put on them at the start of the 2020 season. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think and really how you think all these different injuries will really affect the New York Yankees 2020 season. Comment down below your guys' thoughts on really everything that I talked about in this video. So in my opinion, with all these different injuries that are really hurting the Yankees' chances to really live up to those high expectations, I quite honestly could see them coming very close to losing the AL East to the Tampa Bay Rays. So if you guys did like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. So don't forget, like I said at the start of the video, go down and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Also, come by to my channel really anytime to hear any of the most breaking news throughout this MLB 2020 season. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. See you next time.
The band, that's big views. Boarded the plane, won't be back to May. Now I can't camp it with you.